Welcome to the BlackSheep Podcast. Today we have David Bunton from the Showdown. Legendary, the Showdown. Now, you might all be asking yourself, man, why did it take so long for the Black Sheep to get David Bunton on? And you know what? We were probably asking that same question, except we weren't, because we actually already had David Bunton on, but we completely forgot to release the episode because Mason and I are a bunch of absolute dinguses, and I feel terrible about it.
You don't need to take responsibility for this, Cullen. It was totally my fault. I just could have swore my file transfer thing actually happened, and I guess not. But you had nothing to do with it, Cullen.
Yeah, but I should have realized that we never actually released it.
You don't need to like be like Jesus right now and try to oh, I died for Mason's sins right now. Like
that's not what I'm
it
trying
wasn't
to
your
do.
responsibility. You don't have to be the scapegoat.
Unreal.
Yeah. So David, we are sorry, but how are you doing, man?
Man, I'm doing well. Doing well. Just working, living. I've got middle school kids, one in middle school, one about to be in middle school.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, they're champions. Jamming around a little bit with the Showdown. We're getting ready for Furnace Fest 24 and jamming around a little bit with Hope Deferred.
Hell yeah. What a life, man, that you're living right now. You've got little hellions running around. You play in two bands full of hellions. Your life is just exactly how I picture your life.
Picture my life.
Yeah.
I mean, the jamming is in very small portions of my life, but I mean, I obviously wish I could do it way more, but get to do it just enough to where it is a lot of fun.
Hell yeah. Man. Mason, do you have something you wanted to ask there? You look like you were about to interject, but you're still eating like a rude motherfucker.
I am. Yeah. This is just like total like white trash kind of podcast right now. Just eating on my own podcast, forgetting to release episodes. I mean, we're professionals.
You've got a bacon collar going on right now. I mean, geez, you're falling apart.
Truly, it's the story of my life. But David, one of the cool things, even though we did not release the last episode that I guess we did, but we did that because we knew you were going to be at Furnace Fest, hanging around doing the thing, and so we were super stoked to see you hang out, and we got to chat for a little bit. But what was it like last year for Furnace Fest? Was that your first Furnace Fest, by the way, last year?
No, the year before. That's when they played.
Oh, that's right. God, that's right. So you're like a veteran at this point of Furnace Fest now that you guys are going to be playing again.
Yeah, I went to the very first Furnace Fest.
So what was that, 2000, right?
Well,
the first of the reiteration.
Yeah, the first of the reiteration. So, and I went to that one, and then we played 22, and then I just went last year again. And then we had my wife and I had tickets for this year, but then out of nowhere in February, they asked us to play. So it was like, holy crap. Yeah, we're into that. So
dude, when you guys played last though, it was bonkers in there. I mean, everyone was into it.
And it honestly, like, it was a shock. Definitely not. We're definitely not expecting that. And, like, we haven't, as the Showdown, that was the last time we had played together, right. Until, like, since we played Furnace Fest, when we walked off stage, we hadn't struck a note together until 3 weeks ago.
Oh, jeez.
So like, yeah, I mean, like, we haven't really been doing anything since then.
Yeah.
So to get the offer and to, like, have a reason to, like, come together and be like, all right, let's carve some time out. Let's jam. Let's hang. it's like it's cool because it gives us a reason to, be together, but then also like we're going to play it again, which is a dream come true. Like it was awesome to do it the first time. And it's like, man, I'm so glad they asked us back.
Yeah. Yeah. I think the reason they asked you back is because they're like, we want the guy who has the best Gary Busey face up on stage.
That's true.
Yes.
Did Chad reimburse you for your tickets, by the way?
Oh no.
Oh,
Oh,
what the hell,
No.
Chad?
you're just eating that.
No,
huh?
we
Good
did it. We
grief.
did it. Well, and we had already bought tickets when we played in 2022 as well.
So are you guys up on this deal or are they up on this deal?
No,
Who's in the black here?
we look. I mean, we would have done it. We want to go so bad and just be a part of it. Like we love the festival. Like my wife and I, it's kind of like our thing. Like every year that we do.
Yeah.
So
you guys are like celebrities there. I mean, you guys walk amongst the crowds and everyone's, they're all over you guys too. So it makes sense.
I mean, I don't know about that.
I mean, every time I saw you, there was like 10 people talking to you. So
I still remember Cullen and I were waiting in line. It might have been the first or second Furnace
for
Fest.
Blindside.
Cullen and I, we're waiting in line for the Blindside vinyl that got released at Furnace Fest. And I remember Cullen like pointing out, we were like towards the end of the line, and Cullen pointed out and was like, I think that's the guy from Showdown. So like, and
there
you
was
had like a whole,
you had
a whole posse around you too. It was like, oh my
God,
God,
at
like
9 a.m. It was way too early.
Jeez, I didn't realize that mono versus stereo really pulled that kind of crowd.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Like I like to hang out.
Yeah.
So I mean,
that's because you're a good hang, man. That's probably why.
I mean, I like to hang out. Like I don't think I'm cool, so it's whatever. But
did you at least ask if Hope Deferred could also play to reimburse you for your ticket prices?
I did not ask for that.
You should. You should.
I should have. I believe we got put in the mix at some point, somewhere along the line, but it didn't work out. But that, it's Hope Deferred is like happening, and hope to play some shows. Like it's crazy because the last time I talked to you guys, we were kind of going through the whole thing, and the rigmarole of Hope Deferred was like, as a backstory to people listening, when we talked last time, I had never met them before.
Yeah.
Like I never met any of the guys, like, and it was kind of a weird thing because it was like, Andy's one of my favorite guitar players, The Famine, Embodiment, my favorite bands. So it was just like I just kind of like happened into the band. They let me like join it. It was like super crazy. So since then, like I went to Texas and hung out with those guys, and like we're in the process of recording the record right now. And I went down there when they were in the process of recording drums, and finally got to meet everybody, hang out for the first time. And dude, it was so sick. It was like I felt like I was in the band. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
these guys are so cool. Like, I felt like I've always been jamming with them and always been hanging with them. And it was just like they were so nice to me, and it was so natural. Like, I can't get over it. It was like a best case scenario. I mean, you just never know what you're going into. I mean, everybody's always been cool on the phone and texting and this and that and the other. But I mean, I'm super pumped.
Hell yeah.
Like, I'm not like, I was like super pumped on the music before that, but like now it's just like, I'm just super pumped to be a part of it. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Absolutely.
And that is a super cool feeling. So
Yeah. It's almost got, at least from my point of view, it almost has like supergroup vibes, and it makes sense to me. It's like, it's more, obviously I would say like in a niche, but it's definitely supergroup vibes to me. And I love a good supergroup.
well, I mean, I never thought that I don't feel like a super group person. But I feel like I sing with people that I really like, respect and look up to, that have made music that have deeply impacted me,
Yeah.
on a big level. It's like, like Andy, and John, the other guy, in the band, he plays guitar. He was in the Famine. And then Derek that plays drums, and Jason, that plays bass, they were an embodiment as well. So it's like,
That's a bunch of heavy hitters, man.
I have a lot of respect for those dudes and have been fans. I mean, I've got just on my wall,
Just hanging out.
Embrace the Eternal, no big deal. But
It's just so random. Why is that on your wall?
No, and the thing is, nobody displays CDs. If you're going to display any sort of music, it's vinyl, right? The fact that you've got just a CD being displayed, I'm like, God, that feels very 1990.
It's not the album art or anything like that. It's just the CD with the lavender top.
Yeah, just so I don't forget. Like, just to keep the vibes right. But no, I mean, like, that is cool. You know what I mean? It's like, so very passionate about the music that's going down, very pumped on the work, how it works and how it's been kind of going. Like, there's riffs that are sent back and forth. I've worked on some lyrics and some vocals, sent them back. A lot of time, I mean, Andy is really good at lyrics and vocals. So, and he'll send them back. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's so much better. Cause I mean, he's just got an ear for it. You know what I mean? So it's like one of those things where it's everybody has their strength there. But yeah, I mean, I'm really pumped on it. I can't wait to get it released. We've already done the drums and getting ready to start doing guitars, and we'll probably be doing vocals and stuff this summer. So hopefully we have something people can listen to, after 3 years of waiting, or, whoever's waited, actually have something that people can hear, which is super exciting. Exciting for me, for sure.
Yeah. The stuff I've heard is absolutely incredible, and I am filled with anticipation, which is why I asked you about that, almost right off the bat here. Most people know you though from the Showdown, which, like we said, if you saw them 2 years ago, absolutely incredible show. I think Mason kind of wanted to go through a little bit of the brief history of the Showdown and kind of how you guys,
for the second time.
So, Mason, where do you want to start with this?
Yeah, well, let's talk about kind of the beginning of how Showdown formed. A lot of times when we talk to bands, from kind of this scene, a lot of times it's like, hey, we're just, small town or whatever, and we're just like some guys that wanted to hang out and play some music, and then all of a sudden it like turned into a thing. Was that the story behind Showdown? Like, you guys were just some friends in high school or whatever, and it all of a sudden, next thing you know, you're touring around the world, or what was that? What's the story there?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, like, we started playing music together, in high school, some of us, and then the core kind of group that turned into the Showdown started playing together like when we were like freshmen in college, like first year of college. We were at that time, we were like a new school punk rock band. Like, we really idolized Slick Shoes. Like, that was our game. You know what I mean? Our dream was to be on Tooth and Nail. We had a song on Nothing Says I Love You Like Punk Rock. Betty Rocket Records was like the biggest thing that ever happened to us.
Mhm.
And that was kind of our game. And so we played a lot of local shows, played a lot of regional shows. I got into booking bands in the Tri-Cities area in Tennessee, where we lived, like in the Northeast section of Tennessee. Would bring in bands, that we just wanted to play with and wanted to see. And, from there, we kept on playing and kept on recording, and we put a couple songs on mp3.com, and Brad from Monoverse Stereo heard it and reached out to us. And so that's kind of where it all started. So we started playing in 99, and we just played so much. By 2004, that's when we got signed, did our deal, did our album, and then went on our first tour the fall of 2004. And then we went pretty much full-time touring and playing until about 2010. So yeah, it was kind of like we played a lot locally, but then when it happened, it just went crazy.
So when did the shift from like that new wave punk that you're talking about, or not new wave punk, but you know what I mean, from a more punk band to a more melodic metalcore-ish kind of band? Like, when did that change?
I would say probably around like 2002.
Okay.
Like that's like when we went to Cornerstone, got exposed to a lot of different types of bands. I'd never really seen it. Our guitar player Josh, he's always been super tapped into like metal. He loves metal. That was like his thing. He had like Pantera tapes, and like he had like all of the Solid State, bands, and he was always listening to that stuff, which was just like not really our game. But I went to Cornerstone that year and kind of saw some bands. One band that I saw was called Ana Avea. They were like, it was like, oh my gosh, you know what I mean? Like, they were great.
Yeah.
A great band. And then saw a bunch of other bands that year. Ludacris and Zayo, and just stuff like that. And it just started getting more and more exposed. And Beloved was kind of local to us. They're from North Carolina. So just the more, it was just like a gradual getting into that type of music, and then seeing Under Oath, and just there were so many bands that were coming out of North Carolina that was close to us that I saw between the Buried and Me's first show.
Damn.
Like ever. Like, I mean, not that I even like, I'm not like trying to flex, but it's just like,
Oh, you're flexing. We get it.
North Carolina was stacked with that music.
Yeah.
Back in the day. So it was just like, it was just a natural thing to get more and more into that music. And then when Josh realized I could scream, started working and doing the whole like, we're going to pop a little breakdown into this punk rock song.
When did you realize you could scream?
Yeah.
When Josh started like playing like a Zayo song at practice.
And it just came out of you?
Yeah, I just started like
Ooh.
doing it, and I was just like,
some people call that demonic possession, but I guess for you, it was talent.
Yeah, I mean, I've been told that before.
I'm sure more than once.
Yeah.
In the crowd that
those youth group moms, they'll keep things straight.
Oh yeah, I mean, just imagine me and the harassment I got for wearing a Get Up Kids shirt when I played drums in the praise band. I
mean, those satanic Get Up Kids,
I've been fighting the good fight, since day one, but still out here. We're here. We're jamming for the Lamb. Ain't nobody stopping.
Jamming for the Lamb. Why have
That's
I
a new
never?
one. I've never heard that
that.
And nobody's gonna stop me. They tried.
Oh, we definitely have to make shirts that say "Jammin' for the
for the
Lamb,"
lamb.
and then we'll put David Bunton, as a quotation mark on there.
Yeah, him hanging on a cross.
Don't do that, dude. I've got them somewhere, and they may be somewhere online. One, I think it was Cornerstone 2006. We had these gigantic foam hands printed, and we put the Showdown Jamming for the Lamb 06 on them, and like passed them out, and like, we literally sold them for like $2. So people would like have them in the crowd when we were playing. It was so much fun.
Cullen would buy that for $200 now.
Absolutely, I would. Jamming for the Lamb.
Yeah, dude.
Did you come up with that on your own?
No,
Or did you find that? Was that some youth group thing from way back?
It's like an 80s thing. Like, it said like an 80s thing people used to say. I mean, I have come up with some in the Reese, like shred for the one who bled, faster for the master, keys for the least of these.
How did you not end up as a youth pastor?
Yeah, no shit.
The closest that Cullen and I ever got to that, our youth group was called Boom. Cullen, what was it? What did it stand for again?
Broken, open, obedient messengers.
So Boom is what it was. So obviously the youth group room was called the Boom Room. Which, like, if you have ever seen Jersey Shore, their like sex room was the Boom Boom Room. And so when Jersey Shore came on TV, it was like, oh god, it never occurred to me how like sexually how much of a sexual innuendo this name of our youth group
completely unintentionally. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's funny. I mean, there, it could have been in the Boom Room, Extreme,
Extreme.
I mean, there's just so many
without the E.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My sister went to a youth group called U-Turn. Because you got to make a U-turn in your life and go down the right path.
Dude, I love that. And I'm still here.
Heck yeah.
So at what point did you really kind of get the sense, you're talking about, like, obviously you guys got signed to Mono versus Stereo. Was there a sense, again, you guys are coming from like small town Tennessee, and I don't know like how many other bands are coming like out of your town, or like how many other people at that time that are like, oh, they're gonna like go on tour and it's like a big deal. Like, did you get a sense of like, oh wow, like this could actually be my job? Because you were talking about like you guys were doing this full time, like it was your full time job for 6 years. Did you ever get to a sense of like, oh, like this is what I do? Like all my other friends, like they're going to like college, or they're like getting some like other job or whatever, and it's like your job is to play music professionally in a metal band. And I don't know, like was there ever a sense that like that became a reality for you?
I mean, no, not really, because like, I mean, we were just doing it. So, I mean, that was our job full time, but like, I mean, we were full time roughing it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, we were just like right on the edge. You know what I mean? Of like, this could maybe make a living. We're definitely floating, but we're all young. We don't have a lot of responsibility. So let's just stay on tour. And we had a lot of opportunities to go on a lot of awesome tours, and we were able to stay on the road. But I mean, to kind of circle back, like before, we kind of, or at least for me, I'm not going to speak for everybody else, but it's like, I think there was definitely a time where I kind of had decided before we recorded A Course of Obliteration. By that point, I was like about to graduate college, and I was like, yo, I've saw my favorite bands live before, and like there's only been 30 people there.
Yeah.
Like I can't legitimately make a living doing this. And I just kind of like resolved of like, okay, well, this is probably not ever going to happen. And then it just randomly did. It was just one of those things where it's like, okay, Monoverse Stereo wants to make a record. Yeah, that'd be cool. Oh, they want to do it with Barry Pointer. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's the guy that did Zayo. Sick. I can't pass that up. And then it's like, we got that one tour, and then we just kept getting tours and kept getting tours and kept getting tours. So it's not like, it never really felt like it was like one of those things where it was like, this is our job. I'm in a metal band. It was just like the struggle and fight to like stay on tour at all costs.
Mm-hmm.
Because like the minute that we're not on tour would literally be the minute that I'm working at El Chico.
Right.
Which is what I did. Like after we recorded Backbreaker, I think we went on tour with like Shadows Fall. We went on tour with somebody else, and then we just didn't have a tour, and we didn't have anything scheduled for like until October of that year.
Oh, wow.
And it's like, well, what am I going to do from, April until October? I'm like, I have no idea. Like, what am I going to do? So I just went and got a job. Waiting tables.
I have to say, I feel partially responsible because I definitely downloaded Backbreaker illegally.
No, I mean,
and I'm sorry, man. I feel like if I could have bought some shirts, I would have bought some shirts. But
that's the thing is like, that's not like, I don't mean this as a victim statement.
No,
like,
for sure.
I'm talking about like that is what it is. That's what heavy metal is, and punk rock. You've got to be willing to do that and to grunge it, and you got to be okay with it. If it's not a living, you just have to love it. And like, we loved it. Like, we were just pumped on it.
You could tell.
Yeah. I mean, there was like, okay, maybe a brief window of time when we did Temptation Come My Way. We kind of maybe thought we were going to be the next Nickelback for like 5 minutes. But like, you
guys aren't douchey enough though.
but we like got over that really quick. You know what I mean?
Sure.
I mean, it's weird whenever you have a lot of people telling you things. Like we definitely, I mean, this is the very small version of everything that happened, but there was like, okay, we do a chorus with our friend Jeremiah. The next record, we're doing it with the guy who's produced Third Eye Blind, or not Third Eye Blind. God, what's that? Kryptonite.
3 Doors Down.
3 Doors Down. Yeah. And then, after that, it's like, they don't, it was like, okay, we're going to go back to rock and roll, the basement, and record with Jeremiah again. And I'm glad we did, because that's my favorite record that we did. I love Backbreaker.
Yeah.
So yeah, it all worked out. I mean, yeah, it's cool that you download. I'm just glad you listened to it.
Well, you're a boss for saying that. I appreciate it. Poor little old me didn't even have the opportunity to be able to buy your record because I was so far away from civilization.
Oh no.
Mason and I both.
Yeah, that is true. Here's what I will say, David, is even though we probably downloaded your music illegally, we did make, or at least I made my dad a fan of the Showdown. So my dad's a big Harley
made
fan.
your dad a fan.
That's okay. I'll give you credit for it. But my dad's a big Harley guy, and so and I always forget the name of the song, but like you guys got that song right? Like is it Man Made in Hell or whatever?
Man Named Hell.
Yeah. Man Named Hell. Is it that one that starts out with the Harley?
Yeah.
So like my dad, like he's not into like heavy metal stuff at all. At least not like the metal core kind of stuff that Cullen and I love.
If you grew out your hair, he would be.
Maybe, yeah, maybe.
Hair metal
But
he likes.
but he still like, just because of the Harley riff at the beginning, he's just like, oh yeah, this is sick.
That's awesome.
I truly believe that is the greatest intro to any album ever.
I do think you guys should, like, just one of you, just like come out, you know, you're going to be playing Furnace Fest. Like, when's the next time you're ever going to play again? Just come out on stage, you know, especially if you guys are playing the Shed, just come out on stage on a Harley and then just like go into that riff just the same exact way. That would be sick.
Please.
People would be like,
Please,
people would be freaking out.
We, unfortunately, we don't play anything off that record.
Yeah, but you could just
Is there a
play that
reason
song
why?
that one time and come out on stage with that. That would be sick. People would be like, what the hell? That's amazing.
Why don't you play anything off that record? Is it just
I love it. You're immediately like your eyes get big and you're like, I can't wait to ask the hard questions. No, we would. I mean, obviously, it would be great if we could come out on a Harley. I don't think none of us guys that play in the band now, we ride motorcycles. The dudes that did when we did that record, like Patrick and Jeremiah, they were definitely like motorcycle riders, big time. They loved that game. They were all about that life. That influence that's on that record is definitely a lot from them, for sure. Yeah. Not so much from me. Sure. I ride bicycles.
You come out on a bicycle while doing that song.
Yeah, with the sample of the Harley in the background, that would be awesome.
Have like the little like baseball card in the spokes, you know?
Right, exactly. But no, I mean, we just don't play anything off that record. None of the guys that like the original lineup, other than me, really. And Josh right now, unfortunately, he doesn't play with us right now. So me and Josh were on that record together. But none of the other guys, like Travis, Andrew, or Eric, they were on Chorus, Temptation, and then Eric and I were on Backbreaker. So it's like Eric and I were on Backbreaker. Travis and Andrew were excited about playing some of the songs off Backbreaker. And they were a part of the other two records. All four of us were a part of the other two records, the first two. So it just didn't really make sense.
I get that.
Like there's not a connection with the music as a whole to play those songs live. But you know, that doesn't mean I'm proud of it.
Yeah.
Like I'm definitely proud of it. I'm proud of my vocal performance. I'm proud of, like, you know, I mean, just like any record, I mean, there's some songs that I don't like. There's some songs that I do. But you know, I'm super thankful for that time. And, you know, especially like that record would not have happened if it weren't for the other guys' involvement. So I can't hate that. You know what I mean?
You know, kind of speaking of, you alluded to that there's some songs you don't necessarily like on every record. What do you do with those redheaded stepchildren songs? Like how do you go about them when someone says, hey, like, this is my favorite song, and you're like, yeah, you know, like how do you view that personally?
How do I view that if somebody asks me to play like their favorite song and I don't like that song?
Yeah, like what do you think about the songs that are maybe not your favorite? Like, do you like if someone like says like, hey, that's my all-time favorite song, like what would you say to them? Like, just say thanks?
I would judge them.
That's the answer I'm looking for. I know everyone does, right?
I would judge them. I would be like, dude, you're whack. I mean, that's no.
You like the worst of our stuff.
Like,
what's wrong with you?
Hey, are you guys gonna play Carry On My Wayward Son? No. Absolutely not. that would be so lame. Like, I know it's your most favorite song on Spotify, but like, that still sucks. No, I mean, there's like, I don't know, it's weird. It's like, if somebody wants, there's just certain songs like that we've never really played. Like, I don't know, like You Will Move on Backbreaker. There's just a few songs where it's like we just never really played them, and I don't know if it's just because like they just didn't feel right, like when we practiced them, or like we did play like You Will Move a couple times, and it's just like it just didn't really connect, or I don't know. You just know, like when it feels right, like that's the songs like you want to play. Yeah. Especially now, it's like, I mean, if you can't go out there and be like, "What's up, Furnace Fest? I want to see y'all mosh," then
I hope you do it in that voice. That'd be funny, man.
I mean, but that's what everybody does. I mean, at first, I mean, they're like, "Oh,"
So you're saying that there's going to be no DC Talk covers at Furnace Fest this year, is what you're saying?
Dude, I actually, it's funny that you say that. I'm glad you did. I tried to move the needle on that.
Really?
I tried to get them to throw in like one little, just a chorus, just to be like, yeah, because
do they not realize like the youth group kids that show up to Furnace Fest that would just like, as soon as they start hearing just even a little bit of DC Talk, people are going to like lose their mind.
Dude, I mean, well, first of all, I don't know if you do know we covered a DC Talk song, right?
Yeah. Right. That's why I bring it up.
Oh, okay, cool. I just wanted to make sure because I'm still proud of that. And I think Jesus Freak goes hard, and it is not my guilty pleasure.
It does go hard.
But yeah, no, I mean, I don't know. Yeah, we just only have so much time. I mean, I wish we could make everybody happy and play the Carry On Wayward Sons and DC Talk covers, but we just can't.
I'm just looking for some goofy antics that you guys were always kind of known for, I just feel like you guys were always a bunch of goofballs, and I loved that aspect about you guys because your music was always so serious, in my opinion.
Because you didn't see that at Furnace Fest live.
No, 2 years ago, I didn't see too many of the like goofball antics, but back in the day, I know you guys were because I always watched you on YouTube.
I mean, there's a little bit of a reason, and I'll be transparent with you guys. I don't mind to open up and share. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like we have a circle. So we did some. This is like crazy time, but we did some warm up shows. Before we played Furnace Fest.
Yeah.
And, you always think, I had to literally lose 100 pounds before we played Furnace Fest. Like, it was insane. It was insanity.
Yeah.
Like,
proud of you, man. That's we did talk about that last time. We were going to work out together. We never did.
Yes. So I had to get in shape. Anyways, like I was in bad health. We played the first show in Knoxville, and it was like, it was kind of awkward because I was, there's all of my friends in Knoxville, where I live. Like, they didn't really even know me when I played. And then we played the next show in Kentucky. I'm a little bit loose. Kentucky's our jam. The next thing you know, I've got my shirt pulled up over my head like Cornholio. We're making jokes. I'm throwing up on the crowd, like just acting a massive fool. I mean, just like old school.
Yeah, that's how I remember you guys on YouTube.
And like,
was this sober? Was this done sober as well, or what?
Oh yeah,
wow,
yeah.
Wow.
The spirit was moving.
I like threw up all over the crowd. like I actually almost had a heat stroke. I had to go get IV therapy the next day.
Nice.
So
Got
then we
yourself a banana bag. I love it.
I did. It was so lame. And then we played in Johnson City, and it was kind of along the same lines. And you know, I was just trying to do too much. And I think at one point I may have like even knocked one of our Doc Nathan, our guitar player, over. It's just like, all right, we gotta rein it in. No, you can go back to YouTube for the jokes. No, and it is cool too, because it's like, especially now, it's like, I love metal vocals. I love doing vocals. It's so much fun. And there's a part of that gets lost in translation. Going so far over to we're going to put on this wild show to, okay, where's the performing the song go?
Mhm.
And it's like, I'm glad to be able to give it another shot, to be able to do it again, for sure. I'm sure there's a happy balance. I'm sure there will be some antics, but that was probably a long way around to say, I definitely, I do the best imitation of myself.
and Gary Busey. What would the crowd need to do?
Yourself is the best, or yourself is the second best impression that you do.
What would the crowd need to do to kind of get you to not be able to control yourself with those crazy antics from like what you explained with the heat stroke and everything like that? Like, is there some way we can egg it on? Is what I'm asking.
At this point in my life, I'm highly committed to heavy metal vocals, so doubt it.
That's such a weird response. I love it though.
But I would be very pleased, and I mean, the thing is like I'm thankful. Like, I would be very thankful for anyone trying to egg me on to be the best, craziest person I could be. But
so, David, I feel like I gotta ask, since 2010 was the last album that you guys put out, so we're getting closer to 15 years now since that album came out.
Too damn long.
And and you guys obviously you're about to play your second Furnace Fest. You guys have been playing some shows, so like, and you were talking about before, like, you guys kind of get together every now and then to play. So yeah, I just kind of love to know, like, I mean, is there any like potentially new music that we could expect from the Showdown at some point in the future? Is that even something that you're wanting to do, or is it just like we just want to get together, play some fun shows that are going to be fun for you guys, or is there like new stuff that you guys want to make at some point too?
I mean, I'm open to that. I mean, based on, so after we played Furnace Fest, we haven't really played again since 3 weeks ago right now. So it's like the probability of new music is not very likely. It's just probably, I mean, I would like it to happen. But it just doesn't seem probable. It took something like Furnace Fest asking us again to really get the ball rolling, to get us playing, because it's a special show. Of course, we want to be involved in that.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to take the time to do that, but I don't know. I would like to see it. I would love to see it, but I just don't know how realistic it would be, to be honest. I know that we've got, A Course of Obliteration is turning 20 this year.
Yeah, this year.
Yeah. I would love to see a vinyl. Like, we're trying to make it happen.
My gosh, I'd be in on that so quick.
Has any of your stuff ever been out on vinyl?
No.
That's wild.
Well, we should see if we can get Jason involved in that.
Yeah. We can connect you up.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully something like that shakes out. So like, I mean, there's some cool things. I just don't know. I mean, it's one of those things where it's like it's not doom, and it's not doom and gloom. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
Like I just don't know. I know this, like being able to do Furnace Fest in 2022. It put me on a course to drastically change my life for the better. It got me reconnected with those dudes in a way that is amazing. And I'm glad that we have the opportunity to do it again, because now we're going to be able to like rebuild that even more. So hopefully something else will come after, or something else will come from this additional time that we have. But if it doesn't, I mean, we're still friends.
Yeah. And if it doesn't, you still have however many spots out there, and people asking for you to do guest vocals, or you asking them, right?
Yeah, that's true.
A little bit of both.
Yeah.
I was pumped last year. Chasing Victory, they did ask me to do it. But I would have totally been like, I'm doing it, because I was on that record. And then the Undertaking guys asked me to do it, and I was like, oh my gosh, it's a no-brainer. Those guys came through Knoxville, saw them. Oh my gosh, love those guys. I was so pumped. So hopefully if they come there this year, I definitely want to get Austin on stage with us.
Yeah. I think they're planning to come. We were talking to Austin not that long ago. So
yeah, I think
he said he's coming no matter what. Also, we might have a little information that we can't share. So I might.
Oh, nice. I love information.
That off. Yeah.
I love information. What a line. That's a
we will share information later.
Yeah. That's good.
Nondescript information. Yeah, no, for sure. That would be so cool to see. I've always wanted to see a Homeless Man and Gary Busey on stage together. I can't wait.
Dude, I'm telling you, I loved it. Last time playing with those guys,
yeah,
I'll be jamming with them every time I can. And it's crazy because I got when was it? Or who was it I was asking to do some vocals on their record, and they totally just like acted like they didn't know me.
Idle Threat.
Yeah, Idle Threat. Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot who they were.
That sounds about right for Idle Threat.
Well, I do know that there's one person in that band that desperately wants you on the record.
Dude, I love that band so much. I don't care.
They're so much fun.
Yeah, I don't care if they want me on their record or not. I'm a fan.
I know that Undertaking, they're always writing different music, and they're, putting out maybe like a single or like an EP or whatever. Clearly you got your little like studio setup right here, and so, I mean, Austin, like, ask David to just be a part of maybe, like just a little snippet of
let me get on one of them. Let me get on one of them chaotic songs they got.
Yeah,
hell
that's
yeah.
right.
I love that.
Yeah. How many weird time signatures have you been a part of, David? Probably not that many.
Well, there's a few in there.
There's a couple.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're winding down here. It's time for your top 5 most influential albums. Are you ready?
No. Oh yeah, we're doing influential.
Because this is our take 2.
That's right. So, we didn't. I don't know if did we give him time for that?
If you need a moment here, you can take.
So think of the albums that have like shaped you as a person, as a musician. I don't remember exactly what they were before, but like the albums that have shaped you. Not necessarily your favorite albums, but like albums that it's like, wow, that's why I want to make music, or like, wow, my life is different now because I listened to that album.
Or like maybe the album that helped you become a dad.
Yeah.
I've been waiting for the person to say that album.
Could you
Is that what-
explain the question?
Which one?
Just,
You mean the
I
birds
can't
and the
speak.
bees? Oh, you're asking about the birds and the bees. Is that what
I
you're
can't
asking
speak to that.
about?
No, no.
Too intimate.
No, the
Yeah, so when a mom and a dad really like Barry White,
dude, I will tell you this though. Speaking of something that I can't speak to is Barry White's greatest hits.
Oh,
And
fantastic.
the most amazing part on like of all time is when it's like it literally it blows my mind. It's like
Yeah, and it's like yeah, I know exactly what part you're talking about. And he literally exasperates. He goes,
so dumb.
it's so awesome.
R.I.P. So my most influential albums of all time.
Yes.
I mean, I'm gonna honestly, you can't go wrong with a Scotty Henry riff. Shout out to Bless the Martyr, Kiss the Child.
Hell yeah.
ah,
Feel like
Hell
that
yeah.
record.
we get that
No matter
album
who you
so many
are,
times. Such a
it-
great album.
I mean,
Understandably so.
no matter who you are or what you do or where you come from, that record was you. You can be screaming all day long from the corner about botch, but give me a break. You know what I mean? Like,
Wow, David has staked his claim in the Norma Jean versus Botch debate. I love this. I happen to love both, but I probably do side more with Norma Jean. But I love that you're like willing to make a stake in this.
Well, no, I mean, there's just always somebody out there that's, you know, it's like, oh, but I like the
Yeah, Botch did it first.
or whatever. The thing is, I don't even know what that means because I've never even gave him a chance.
Here, so I still
Oh,
remember. So, Bless the Martyr, Kiss the Child's like probably top 10 favorite album of all time for me. I still remember. So Cullen and I, we've been best friends for what, at least 15 years now, Cullen, right?
Yeah.
I still remember. So Cullen used to have an S10 pickup truck. I don't know. Do you remember what S10 pickup trucks were, David? Yeah, like little tiny pickup trucks, and Cullen's didn't have a CD player in it, so he got a portable CD player, like one that like a little like
Boombox.
had a little speaker system and stuff, and
The alarm
and
clock.
and basically like stuck it in the middle of this S10 on the floor. And then if we ever wanted to listen to any music, we would just pop in like, you know, Bless the Martyr or like a Chariot song or, you know, Chariot album or whatever. But we would like literally have to that, or maybe you had like a little FM transmitter or something on it.
Nope.
But I just
It was
remember
only
like
AM.
because you didn't have an actual like real radio in the pickup truck, we had to put a portable radio in the pickup truck just so we could play CDs.
And Bless the Martyr is definitely one of those.
Yeah,
that
Bless the Martyr.
was like
That
heavy
is
rotation in
the
there.
way I heard Bless the Martyr was through like the shittiest speakers of a little portable radio. That was my first introduction to Bless the Martyr.
I mean, it's a great record. I won
It
Employee
is.
of the Month at Hot Topic, and I got to pick the CD of the month, and I
Hell
picked that
yeah.
one.
Hell yeah.
Like, I mean, it's
That's
just a
why
great-
you got Employee of the Month. You picked actually the good music.
It's true.
Well, it's because I sold a bunch of hair dryers with flames on them. But
Still a lot of studded belts as well.
yeah, I did.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, let's go for. I'm gonna keep it quasi, in between old school and new school, and I gotta have to shout out to my boys in the Famine for the Raven and the
Oh,
Reaping.
Hell yeah. Yeah.
God, the Famine doesn't get enough respect.
Keeping
I
it
love
quasi-moto with the Famine. I love it.
I mean, favorite riffs of all time.
You're so good.
Love that band. Love those riffs. That record, everything about it's perfect. So good.
Did
I
you say
mean,
did you say the Architects of Guilt? Is that the one you said?
the Raven and the Reaping?
Raven and the Reaping.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
That album's come up a few times on here as well. And it is an undiscovered masterpiece by a lot of people. A lot of people who would really love it just have not given it a chance or have not listened.
Yeah,
It's
agreed. I mean, it's a great record, and both of the Famine records are really good.
Yeah.
Well,
In my
Architects of
opinion.
Guilt is like one of the scariest album covers ever.
One of the
It's so
greatest
creepy.
album covers ever. Yeah.
It is. It is. I just got to keep it real with the. And I mean, I'm a big fan of both records. I actually owned both records.
Mhm.
I love that first one. It was just the first record, like it came out, and I just remember being like extremely jealous of that record.
Yeah.
And then seeing their merch at shows and just being like, God, man, they have it all. Like, why do they have it all? You know what I mean?
What I've always found very interesting that they do is they make extremely heavy music sound way too palatable. Like almost like is this like witchcraft? Like how did you make this sound so like radio friendly almost, but you're not pulling any punches whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, I would say they have like a lot of like Slipknot vibes, but they don't do like the singing stuff necessarily. It's all just heavy vocals, but somehow they created like this catchiness, these earworm kind of little bits in there. I don't know if it's the chorus or whatever on all the songs, but I don't know how they did it. They played with weird fire there that I don't quite understand. I love it.
That's what we call in Tennessee and Texas. Shout out to Hope Deferred. It's called the money riff.
Money riff. Gotta say it with that accent too, you know.
But no, had to go with that one.
Good call.
Another record, I'm gonna just be off the wall with this one and say Whatever Never Amen by Ben Folds 5.
Yeah, that's off the wall. I like it though.
That's like, I don't know. I really kind of credit that record into getting me into punk rock. Because like I was really just kind of like into whatever would come on the radio, whatever my friends would play, you know, it didn't matter. R&B, the Eagles, you know, just one of those all over the place. I heard Brick on the radio, was like, cool, went out and bought it to try to impress this girl I was on a date with.
Because that'll do it.
Because like she thought the song was amazing too. So I was like, I'll just flex and buy a $20 CD.
Man, the girls that I grew up around definitely would not have been impressed by that at all. In fact, they probably would have said, get the hell out of my life.
No, I mean, hey, you know, it worked. I bought that CD, and you go through that CD, and the whole CD is just like, it's got a lot of distorted bass and a lot of really up tempo stuff, and like it's really kind of like harsh and kind of punk rockish, and like it's just really different. And I don't know, I just loved watching. I got a videotape of them, and you know, he's like beating the piano with his like piano stool, and like it's just really interesting. Like I just loved that. I was so drawn to it. And then from then I got into MXPX. So my next album would be Slowly Become the Way of the Buffalo.
Sure.
Love that record. I think it's a great punk record. It's got a cool cover. It's got really kind of dark vibes, but it's still catchy. I love the vibe of that record. I think it's just super sick how dark and bright it is at the same time.
Yeah, I totally dig that. Good call. Is that 5? That's 5.
That's 4.
That is 4.
Yeah, one more.
Yeah,
we're good at forgetting stuff, as you can tell, David.
No,
we also clearly that South Dakota education is kicking in.
Don't know what I'm doing.
I mean,
Do you have another CD on the wall you're gonna pull off and be like, hey, this is actually my number 5?
Let's see. Actually, my number 5.
He does have them. Jeez.
Yeah, we're gonna go with.
Is this like the visor of your car right now?
in 2004.
Oh, a Squad 5-0 postcard.
Squad 5-0. Hell yeah.
Oh my
That makes me
gosh,
so happy.
dude! I've got everything in this room, dude, and I have dude. I've got a sick disciple poster over here too.
Oh yeah.
Oh God, is it?
This might
Wow.
sting a little. It's not gonna get my most. It's not gonna get my most influential record of all time, but I can tell you right now that I did rededicate my soul at disciple shows most of any other band I've ever seen.
Did you get stitches from a disciple show?
No.
Okay,
But I
Mason-
watched that.
Mason-
talk to me when you get stitches at a disciple show.
Mason cracked his head open on the stage at a disciple show.
No way,
Yeah.
Yep.
it's pretty
dude! I
awesome.
love.
I had to go get
Disciple.
stitches. Then they
Dude,
gave
we-
me a free CD when I came back.
Nuh-uh. Dude,
I was like 14. I was like, this is the best day of my life.
dude, they're great. I'm telling you, Disciples great. They're good people.
Yeah.
I've been with Disciples since they were a 3-piece and they were wearing jerseys all the way till now. I think they're fantastic. I have their poster on my wall because it gives me vocal strength whenever I need.
Man, what was the album with the rose on the cover?
Oh man,
Because that album,
Scars Remain.
That's
the one with Game On
that's the
on
one.
it.
That album went hard.
That's
It
the
did.
album that I broke my head, or that's the song that I broke my head open to.
That was it.
Dude, that's so crazy.
Yeah.
That's Game On was like the big song that I remember, and that's when they started playing that, and I'm like freaking out, and I whacked my head on the damn monitor, and yeah,
That's fun. I mean, they're a fun band to see. I just went and saw them a while back at here in Maryville with my oldest girl. We had a good time. But
Nice.
they just released an album last year. They're
Yeah.
still doing it. They're really
they're crushing
doing
it. They're crushing it. They're
Yeah.
crushing it. Like
Good
still
grief.
they like we out here, we made it. Like they're good.
Yeah.
Like they're they're really cool. I was bummed because I was trying to get on a disciple track.
Oh, dude, they got to make that happen for you.
Dude, I wish. 5th most influential record though of all time. That's a good question. I think I'm gonna maybe just keep it real instead of saying something that I think people want to hear.
Real big fish.
Real Big Fish. Yeah. I'm gonna go with The Changing of Times by Under Oath.
okay.
Understandable. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know why you thought people wouldn't want to hear that, but
Everyone wants to hear
I'll
that.
gladly hear that. I feel it's probably the most underrated Under Oath album.
I mean, I feel like that people like want to hear me say like, oh, my favorite album is like, Gorgoroth or something, but or like some like cheesy band that like is old and like nobody like. It just sounds cool, but no, I mean, but no, that record is cool. You know what I mean? If you're talking about like influential records, like around that time, whenever I was like in the punk rock world, kind of what's going on, what's happening. When that record came out, it was like still heavy, still had some like heavy things, but it was still kind of catchy. And it was just a perfect like gateway to like get into like hard, even more and more hard stuff. And I've always liked Under Oath. I still like them a lot. Like, but I don't know. That record was just cool. Like I remember I bought it the day it came out. It was a sick record. It blew my mind.
Yeah.
It just blew my mind.
Yeah.
So like some of that, that early Solid State, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't really like a lot of metal. Didn't know a lot of metal. I mean, obviously I knew hair metal because I was like kid in the 80s. I mean, I love like Nelson and Poison and Warrant and Def Leppard, but like other than that, like I'd never really been into metal other than like I knew that Enter Sandman was a Metallica song. So yeah. Yeah.
Also,
It's
can
funny.
we
It's
just give
funny
a
how the
shout
course
out?
of our life changes. Go ahead.
I was about to say, can we also just give a shout out to Dallas? Obviously the vocalist at the time for Changing of Times for Under Oath. Can we just give a shout out to Dallas because they are literally going on tour, and I still remember like when Cullen and I interviewed Dallas like 3 years ago. It was
Yeah.
like, how is this guy able to even walk? And now to see him at this point in life where he's like literally going out on tour, it is such a cool, like, it's just so cool to see. So just shout out to Dallas. What an unbelievable human. Just like the kindest person, just like has like this zest for life and just works his ass off to like make, basically like, the second chance of life happen for
Yeah.
him. So he's the greatest guy.
Yeah,
he
big
really is.
fan, big fan. I mean, I love that guy. I mean, I love everything he does. Always been a big fan. I saw them at the Furnace Fest, like pre-bash or benefit bash or whatever.
Mhm.
And like I was out there, I was wilding out while they were playing and stuff, and like was milling around in the pit. And like at one point, when they were singing, one of their songs, I like dove in the crowd and was like screaming the words, and like he like saw me and like pulled me on stage, and like I got to like sing a part with them and stuff, and I
Hell
was so
yeah.
pumped. Like he is so nice. Like, yeah, dude, I'm totally pumped to see it. I love to see them doing it. Love to see them on tour. I'm
Mhm.
definitely gonna try to go see them, and I hope they're playing Furnace Fest.
Yeah, I hope so too. Because those are some of the most memorable shows I think thus far.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good. All right. What would you like to plug?
I mean,
Buy Furnace Fest tickets so you can come see the Showdown.
yes. I mean, definitely want to plug that. Definitely the Showdown is out here. We out here. We're giving it another shot. Hit us up online. Tell us that you love us, and we're going to do our best to make some memorable jams for you. And most importantly, like, we're going to be there and we're going to be hanging out, and we're just people. So just like last year or the last time that we played, I was truly blown away by people just coming up to me and telling me that our band meant something to them. Like,
I'm telling you, you had a line. You had a line.
Constantly.
I can't.
Just your own little posse.
Dude, it's not anything I take for granted. Like, I'm being dead serious. Like, it's unbelievable. Like, dude, I'm just a dad. Like, I work at Progressive and like look at like wrecked cars, and like I chill and I love what I do, and I just love life, and I have an amazing supportive wife, and to be able to like, and I love where I'm at, but to be able to like go back and like have that part of my life and it means something. It's a blessing. I mean, it's completely insane. And which leads me to the next plug of that set me up to also play with Hope Deferred. And we're working on our new record.
Hell yeah.
And we're really excited about it. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
that's been a big time. And really, really excited to see what happens with that. If not, when I say see what happens with that, I'm just excited to go back and hang out with them again, like, and jam around and just bros it. But so those are my plugs. Yeah.
Well,
and
I'm actually, the fact, I didn't know this before, but the fact that you work for Progressive makes me even happier because I'm a very happy Progressive customer, by the way.
I am as well.
Nice, dude. Dude.
Yeah, I got one of those little those little things that you like plug into your car to like,
Snapchat.
tracks like Yeah, the snapshot thing. So I got one of those recently, and maybe it's because I work at home, so I don't really actually travel much in my car anymore, and it's just been taking forever before I'm like, when does this thing end? But that's my only complaint right now. But that's probably all on me because I probably just don't drive around in my car enough. But I'm just like, when does this damn little snapshot thing end? But anyway, I'm a big fan of what you guys do at Progressive. So
I
just
like
wanna say
Flo.
that.
Flo's my favorite.
Yeah, she's
Whoa.
hot.
She is hot.
Dude, we love Progressive is great. Today is actually my 1-year anniversary at Progressive.
Really?
Woot woot.
You should be the next Flo.
You should be.
So what you guys didn't know, last time that I was on the podcast, I was kind of like in a weird like career transition.
Yeah.
And which is really kind of can be kind of a scary thing or whatnot. But like
Right.
I ended up getting a opportunity at Progressive, and it's been sick, and I've been there for a year. Totally love it. Everybody works. The culture's great. It's just everybody's nice. It's like so cool. So
That's very uncommon in the corporate world too.
I know. It's so ridiculous. Like, it doesn't even make sense. I'm not trying to make it about my job, but
Right.
it is
Is
cool.
Flo really nice too?
Yes. She's very accountable.
Wow.
She personally emailed me and told me happy anniversary.
Hell yeah.
And I got a Progressive cup, a Flo bobblehead, which I should bring it up here in my studio room, actually.
You should.
And some like really cool pins and stationery.
Nice.
And I'm a sucker for swag, so that was like a big deal.
It's way better than a raise, right?
Yeah. I mean, they do those too, but like swag is awesome.
It is awesome. Is there anything else you'd like to plug?
So yeah, we've knocked off that. I can't believe we plugged Progressive. That's so funny.
That's awesome.
We got
they're really hurting right now. They need to get in that BlackSheep podcast.
Dude.
Actually, they have sponsored us a couple of times through our
little auto-generated
our feed. Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
I hope they sponsor this one. That would be so nice.
That would be pretty cool.
That would be a blessing. So, and then the next thing that I am very excited about is I am doing guest vocals on the next Idle Threat record. And
hell yeah.
They don't want me to tell anybody about it.
Too bad.
So
are the lyrics that you scream in the next Idle Threat record, "Fuck Justin Jones"? Is that are those the lyrics that you're screaming?
That's what it should be.
Well, not in those words, but
not in those words. but hinting at it, right? Hinting at it.
No, I mean, they're gonna be actually. I think I have a pretty good uplifting chorus that I'm helping with. And possibly a pre-chorus. I'm not really supposed to tell what the song's about, but it's a good song.
That's good. 1 year ago when we had you on the podcast before, and we obviously didn't release it because we're dumb. You had actually asked me if I could reach out to Justin, and I did. And he said, I've been trying to get David on a record forever. And so there it is.
Dude, I'd love to see it.
Cullen
really
the middleman.
I mean, I think you guys are probably already in contact with one another, but I think it cemented it. It pushed you over the line.
You're like Tinder for Justin and David.
I'm more like Plenty of Fish, I think.
Oh my gosh. I love it. I love to see it.
Sweet, man. Dude, this is awesome. Can't wait to hear that. That record's going to be absolutely wild. I feel like last record was just too good. So yeah.
We're excited for it.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good record. I know it. Anytime like yesterday we went to it's like middle school initiation for my youngest is going into middle school. It's like you know, I don't have any shirts other than like band shirts. So it's like, but the one shirt that I have that like is a band shirt but doesn't look like a band shirt is an Idle Threat shirt. So it's like,
is it the hockey one?
It says Idle Threat Sporting Goods.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one. I
so
almost
it's
bought
like,
that one myself.
I love that shirt because it's
Yeah.
like low key, like I'm still like, you know, doing this whole thing I do, but like I just look like one of you normal like parent people with their parent clothes.
All right. Speaking of which, though, so I'm a teacher by day, and the parents that show up in band shirts, those are the parents that I know I can be real with.
Really?
The rest of the parents, I have to, you know, be like, oh, your child's great. Your child's so good. They do everything exactly the way they're supposed to. But the parents that show up in band shirts, I'm like, here's the deal. Your kid is awesome, but they got to fix this and this. Otherwise, they're going to have a really rough time throughout the rest of this year and next year and in life. And those are usually the parents that are actually receptive.
And those parents are like, yeah, that kid, we gotta make sure that they're not listening to Showdown anymore.
Yeah, that's exactly what they say every time.
Because
like,
take away those Showdown CDs.
Because parents in band shirts probably spent their whole 20s going to hardcore shows.
Hell yeah.
They know the worst of the worst.
They know why the album's called Backbreaker.
Yeah, that's it. It's like, while everybody else was, you know, climbing the corporate ladder and circling back and, you know, getting all the low hanging fruit and all that, you know, we're in the van. So
that's right. I just want to do van life shit with my friends.
Yeah, I just want to chill.
Love it. Well, David, thank you so much for chatting more about Showdown. Obviously, I so apologize for the fact that somehow our previous interview a year ago did not make it into the ether of the internet. But, you know, it gave us an excuse to just hang out again for another hour and a half. And for that, you know what? I'm grateful to God, the God that exists in the world, and everybody else probably in the world thinks that I'm not an atheist. But I actually believe that God exists because, you know what? We were able to make this happen again. So God must exist. So I'm a big fan of that. So
I love it.
Anyway, well, glad we were able to make this happen, and excited to see you in early October.
Yeah, I'm excited. Thank you guys so much.
Get snake bit.